Everybody on the White Sox is a freaking weasel. Stop being weasels. You have the general manager saying, I would trade this guy, but he's hurtful to me, and I don't know. I'm really taken aback, and I couldn't do this. So that's, I would have loved to have done this and this and this, but I really can't because he and his agents, they talked about things that I didn't think they were going to talk about. And then the manager, not going to be my fault, you bastards. Better play better. Batting practice, go around. It's not going to be me. How obtuse, how unaware of anything around him must Pedro Grifol be? Like, the lack of accountability. Nobody's got a thumb. Nobody's got the ass covering, and it's always been this way. The people peeking out of their offices and furtively glancing in different directions down the hallway and then sneaking back in and closing. Not my fault. None of this is my fault. It's his fault. That's how Getz got the job in the first place. That's how he got the job. Everybody's a weasel. Of course the players are miserable. Of course Paul DeYoung is like, woohoo! I get to go over to that clubhouse? Hot damn.
Go play with maybe the best player in the game right now.
Paul DeYoung says, hey, man, I get to be a utility fill-in guy on this team. So long, suckers.
And Tommy Pham hitting a grand slam and a pinch hit at bat in St. Louis.
Michael Kopech skipping out of the White Sox clubhouse because he gets to go to the Dodgers.
No wonder, because you're in a nest of weasels. You're just watching people.
That's another team.
Poking around. Hey, see that guy? It's his fault we suck. No. That dude over there. It's his fault we suck. Listen, it's all your fault we suck. It's certainly not mine. It's totally yours also. Because you're maybe the worst ever at your job.
That brings us to Pedro Grifol, who had some things to say about how good he thinks he is at his job.
I don't really think about that. I don't have no control. I have a contract, and my contract says I will, and I'm going to work tirelessly every single day, like if I'm going to be here next year and 5 years after that, and my responsibility and my vision is to put this organization in a place where, we see white towels all the way from that corner to that corner, and we're playing, meaningful baseball games every single day, and that's what I think about all day long. How can we get there? And that's all I'm going to think about. The other stuff is really not in my control. Do I want to be here? Of course I want to be here. This is what I've dreamed of all my life. This is what I have a passion for. This is what I think I'm good at. Whether the record displays it or not. I think we're in a better spot than what people think we are, which is hard to see.
What? You're in what? You're in what?
They're in danger of being the worst team that's ever played baseball.
We're in a better spot than people think we are. You're going to have to explain that one.
They now own the longest losing streak in White Sox history. Mm-hmm. It is their second losing streak this season of 14 games or more. Mm-hmm. They have not won on Mondays. They are 0-13 on Mondays, by the way. They have won less than 25% of their games throughout the season. All of these things are indicators that you're not fudging this math. Like
time for Sox math.
Like, you're not fudging the math of things are better than what they look. If you're a team that's around 500, and if then we could look at your run differential and go, oh, maybe this team's a little bit better than what they've shown so far. That's not the case here. You're doing historically bad baseball. And I think there are two problems I think that Pedro Grifol has. One of them is thinking that he's smarter than everyone else when it's clear that he's not. And trying to explain stuff away when there is empirical data that proves that what he's saying is false. Okay.
There are few, and I'm sorry to interrupt here, but I just as an aside, in comedy, there are few things that are more reliably funny than an overconfident ignoramus. This is paid for Will Ferrell's many houses. It has created a character like Ali G, but the typical Ben Stiller, Will Ferrell, the idea of the overconfident ignoramus is a comedy staple, almost going back to Commedia dell'arte. So you've got this guy, Pedro Grifol, playing that role. This is a stage-worthy, overconfident ignoramus.
The White Sox have won 27 games. They have blown 27 saves. Would you like to know what their run differential is, Dan?
I think the run differential puts them in a better spot, doesn't it?
Minus 222.
Oh. Last year was over 200, right? And this year they're already... Last year they won 60 games, and they were at a minus 2. Okay, so they've blown past that this year.
Yes, they have.
Okay.
And they will continue to do so because the team has been made worse by some questionable return on trades by the general manager. So, yes, you have a right to be angry, and White Sox fans have a right to be disappointed and despondent. And I know that we usually, when things are this bad, we talk about firing the manager, and sometimes it feels like a sports radio bit. Pedro Grifol is not qualified to be a manager of a major league baseball team. He probably would do well as someone's roving instructor, or maybe even the job he had before as bench coach. I'm not basing that on anything other than his performance. His performance tells you he is not qualified to be a major league manager. My hope is that Chris Getz recognizes that.
Wait a second. But Chris Getz is not qualified to be a major league general manager.
I agree.
Is it hurtful?
But I think that the people above him are not going to move him out, even though they probably should. But my hope is that he recognizes this and moves quickly as soon as the season is over to say that there needs to be a new direction and a new voice. Everything about Pedro Grifol since he's walked in the door has been a guy trying to act like a manager instead of being a manager. And it's very transparent and it's clear. You can look through his facade and everything that he's trying to do and go, here's a guy that isn't ready for this. Maybe years from now he will be, and maybe this experience will help him in that regard, but it's pretty clear that he doesn't know what he's doing. So they should be done with it.